Life is funny, right? Depends on where you sit in an airplane.
That's true. That's true.
We're here today at Shriners, really courtesy of Dr. Armstrong, and by the happenstance of the two of us sitting next to each other or just in back of one another on a plane. And you saw me going through page proofs of the Hot Shoe Diaries, a book that was coming out.
I did. Well, I recognized you as you were putting your luggage up beside me, and I said, my gosh, that's Joe McNally. And I knew you because I had your previous book. So.
Okay, all right. So that was the Moose Peterson backpack that you saw go into the into the overhead.
That's true. Yes.
And so Dr. Armstrong and I got to talking, and lo and behold, sent an email through saying, you know, we're coming down to do a training video for Kelby. It's all about lighting, and one of the more popular segments we had done prior to this did involve corporate portraiture. But this is an accelerated version of corporate portraiture.
So, Joe, this is our boardroom.
Right. I did mention this was accelerated corporate portraiture. If you take a look at this room, it's about the size of a football field. It's got some graphic possibilities, but it's not going to be easy to kind of wrestle this to the ground. So we're going to try to do a group in here and also a group in what Dr. Armstrong refers to as the war room, just off of this, this major corporate boardroom. There's a subset meeting room, basically, that you might call it, and that's where smaller meetings take place. We're going to try to work in there and also try to work out here. And as you can see, we've got, you know, very dim outdoors. We've got overhead racks of light that are probably not all that friendly in terms of color balance. We'll have to sort that out. And then a huge area that not all of it is going to be lit. I'm not going to try to do that. We're going to try to do foreground lighting, pleasing lighting up in the near-term area of the photograph, make sure that everybody is lit well, and then we'll let the rest of the room light do some of the work for us and pick up some of the details in the background area. So, can we take a look at the war room?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
So, Joe, this is what we refer to as our executive conference room off the boardroom. And this is where the Executive Council of Shriners Hospitals for Children meets frequently.
Okay. In today's photograph that we would try for in here, how many people can I anticipate?
Oh, we'll probably have 7.
7, okay. All right, that's a doable group. Not the biggest room in the world, very nicely appointed and all. Again, it's going to have some interesting issues. We've got these big screens here which are going to be problematic. I don't want to include those. Those will have a lot of reflection. The books are a very good, kind of rich tapestry sort of background, which is very, you know, has the feel of medicine, has the feel of history to it. So I definitely include those. And then, of course, I have to be careful with the polished wood surfaces, which are always highly reflective and occasionally difficult to light. And we'll obviously clean some of this up too, make it, you know, as pristine as we possibly can. And I can anticipate 7 people. I think we can make this happen. I'm looking at the windows that are front the main boardroom out there, the real big one, and that may be an advantage for me. I'm not sure of this yet, but we might be able to take some light through those windows, depending on their tint and color, and we'll see how that works as a possible, you know, maybe bringing some interesting light towards the group. Mm-hmm. So, alrighty, we'll keep going here. Pretty interesting history the Shriners have. So we're going to hear about it a little bit, which is kind of a cool thing. All the various cities that are represented and various. Peter, if you could elucidate for us just a little bit, would these be ceremonial hats?
No, the Shriners, these fezzes represent the 191 temples / centers of the Shriners, and so when the Shriners are at an official function, they will wear their fezzes with great pride.
So that's, you know, it's a symbol. When you're doing corporate photography, symbols are powerful things. You reach out for them. You're trying to use the visual totems that you're surrounded by to indicate who people are, what they do, what their level of responsibility is, how, you know, what this whole corporate atmosphere is dedicated to being about, or you know, the course of their business, all of that sort of stuff. Okay, so Dr. Armstrong, I like to use this environment. It incorporates the symbol of the Shriners. Yesterday, of course, it was beautiful because there was sunlight streaming through there. But I think what we'll still do is, I'd like to photograph you here. I actually think the tie, the jacket, everything will work well. And I still have a couple of things that I can pull out of my hat to make it seem like it's not quite as bad a weather situation as it is outside.
Good.
Also, if you have a couple of colleagues that we could do a rotation through this particular lighting setup, I think that would make maximum use out of it.
I do.
Okay, great. So that's where we're going to start today. We're going to start in this very graphic atrium area here of the Shriners headquarters. And Dr. Armstrong was gracious enough to give us a tour yesterday. We're going to retrace our steps today because obviously a lot of things have changed, always do, in terms of, you know, day-to-day weather conditions, lighting, etc. So we'll take another look.